So, what does it actually take to pass the Cambridge C2 exam? Is it just about fancy vocabulary, or is there something different about the way you need to think or approach the exam? Well, today I've got a guest on who has just passed their Cambridge C2 exam. They're one of my ex-students and they just passed with flying colours. So they're here to give you all of their secrets, all of their tips. We're going to get into the hardest parts of the exam, use of English and listening. He's going to talk about his study schedule that he used, how he learned all of this really difficult vocabulary, and he's going to give you that one piece of advice that just kind of changed everything for his C2 journey and helped him pass that exam. So if you are studying for Cambridge C2 or Cambridge C1, please stay with me here and you can get some advice from him. Before we get into it though, please do make sure that you are subscribed to the channel and that you give this video a like as well. It just helps it to get to more Cambridge C2 candidates so that they can also get some advice for their exam as well. So give this video a like if it helps you. Make sure you subscribe so that you can come back every week. All right, we're going to get into it then. First of all, congratulations for passing the exam.
Oh, thank you so much.
How long ago was it now? When did you take your exam?
I took it back in December. So
Okay.
December the 18th, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah.
Okay. Good 6 months then already.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when a bit of background actually before we start. Why did you decide to take that C2?
Okay, so I decided to take the exam because I wanted to let's say certificate my proficiency, and I needed like a certificate also to teach in better conditions, let's say in Italy where I live. So it was kind of a challenge for me, and I decided to just try to study and see how things could go, and that's why basically I decided to take the exam.
And had you done any exams before that? Any other Cambridge exams, or was that your first one?
No, actually. So I participated in a course when I was an au pair in London for the C1, so for the CAE, but I didn't take the exam in the end. So it was my first official Cambridge exam.
Wow. Starting at a high level.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what
I
C2
said,
was.
okay, let's go big or go home. That's
Yeah,
my
exactly.
motto.
Nice. And you went big.
I mean, yeah, it was kind of hard,
Yeah.
but it paid off. So
Yes. Nice. And in terms of that, so how long did you give yourself to prepare? Because you came to me like
in
must have been a week
February,
before your exam at least, no?
yeah, I think so. We started like I started taking classes with you back in February 2025, if I'm
Okay.
not mistaken. So
Uh,
yeah, from that from that moment on, I
yeah.
kept on studying,
So we
and
did the group classes first until
exactly
like
till
May
yeah, exactly.
2025.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then I had like a off off like period like in summer. So
Mm.
I just used summer to self-study and self-teach and revise things.
Mhm.
And then from September, October, I took some private classes with you to hone the skills even more to
Yeah.
be ready. So yeah.
Okay. And then you mentioned your kind of self-study. So beyond your lessons, what would you say was like the three most important resources that you used to study?
Okay, so first of all, a Cambridge textbook, probably.
Mm.
So, some sort of textbook that has been conceived by Cambridge to
Mhm.
do that type of exam. So, a C2
Yeah.
based textbook.
And
So,
you were
it's
using the Ready for C2, no?
exactly. So I
Great text.
used that book, and
Mm.
I kept on studying through the book. So all the expressions and material provided by the book.
Okay.
And secondly, I would say having a routine and squeezing in and scheduling some time every day to revise
Mm.
things. So you need really to stick to your plans and revise in a very consistent way.
Okay. So consistency is key.
And the third thing would be having a teacher because it's really important when you take this type of exam, which is the like highest level, to
Mm.
have someone who can correct you, someone who you can speak to and practice the oral interaction with,
Yeah.
because I mean it's not the same to practice on your own at home. You really need
Yeah.
to.
So it's tricky for part two. And
Exactly. So you
Mhm.
need someone, a teacher, who can really listen to you and give you feedback and you know.
Yeah. Yeah. For your writing as well. It's always good to
Exactly. So
really
writing was
get yourself
also
right.
one of the hardest parts
Mm.
because it really entails being able of organizing, structuring, and also using very proficient language because at
Yeah.
C2 you are required to use terms that
Mhm.
are not everyday language. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Well, thanks for plugging me there. Put a little link up there if anyone wants to take a
But
lesson.
it's true. It's true. It was always so nice to have classes together, and I
Oh,
felt always so relaxed, and it was a very nice environment. And
oh, yeah. I enjoyed our lessons as well. I miss our lessons, you know. I miss your smiley face, like coming on screen. Oh. So you mentioned you were struggling. I was looking at your practice test that we did actually.
Okay.
So I'm actually gonna put that up on the screen if you don't mind, just to remind you what your
Yeah.
scores were
Okay.
when you took. So they were already pretty high, to be fair. So we did this February 2025.
Okay.
So your reading, let's take a look. So part one, you were fine, 7 out of 8. Part three, you were fine. No, sorry, part two, you were fine. Part three was great. Part four, we were struggling with. We needed,
Yeah.
yes, the keyword transformation as usual. Always the
Yeah.
hard bit. Part six was a big one as well. 2 out of 14. So your gap
Yeah.
text. Part seven was 5. So just a couple of bits for your reading. Listening was great, pretty much overall. 6 out of 6, 7 out of 9. Bit on part three. Part four was great. So your listening was pretty much good. We didn't really have to concentrate on that. And then your writing, you can see all of my
Yeah.
my comments there. So we had a bit to work on, but we were already at a good level anyway. So that
Yeah.
was
So I think so. I mean, I
starting point.
had quite good knowledge of English, but I
Mm,
needed to, yeah, hone those little
mm. Just little
skills.
things.
Yeah, so
Mm.
to
And the vocabulary as well. I think that
yeah,
was a big one. How did you organize all of that then? Because there's so much to learn. I mean,
yeah,
you had a decent amount of time at least. You gave yourself a good year, but
exactly. Yeah,
how did you organize all of that? What did you do to kind of
so basically in terms of vocabulary, when I started like studying seriously, I decided I wanted to start revising at the end of each unit uh, the
that's a good tip,
terms
yeah.
I had learned. So,
Mhm.
it takes time, and sometimes you really need to stop and say, okay, I'll focus on those terms, those expressions, those idioms,
Mhm.
and I'll make them stick to my mind.
And
And
how
then,
did you make them stick?
so basically, one of the things that really worked for me was to take one expression and say it out loud and then try to formulate a sentence,
Mm,
both orally and both written in a
okay.
written way. So I try to create a new example,
Mhm.
which was like created with my own words without
Mhm.
looking it up on the dictionary.
Yeah.
And that really worked for me. And
Okay, great.
also another another thing that really was essential was to use them in a monologue or a
Mm,
conversation. So
yeah.
when we practice speaking, it was to squeeze in all the vocab, as much vocab as I learned before, and
Yeah.
that really made my mind be able to retrieve the
Mm,
vocabulary as quick as possible when I
yeah.
was
That's the
in the
main
exam.
I get a lot from students. They're like, it's all here. I have it here, but I
Exactly.
can't, when I
Yeah,
need it, I just can't like access it
exactly.
out,
Yeah.
especially in speaking.
Yeah. And also I also used to read a lot in that
Mm,
period. So I read all type of written text, so books,
mhm,
narrative, fiction, also yeah, whatever type of written source I had, I
mhm.
tried to just read a bit here and there every day
Yeah.
to, yeah,
Reading's great for especially for vocabulary, yeah. Just for
exactly,
picking up again those little nuances
exactly,
or
yeah,
collocations or these tiny little things that you
exactly. So you really are able to observe that and have a passive
Mhm.
knowledge of of the language that
Yeah,
boosts your overall level in the end.
yeah. And then you try and make it active by, like you said, making sentences or saying
Exactly.
it out loud and stuff. Alright, great. Um, okay, moving on to different parts of the exam then. So we took a look at your practice test. We looked at part 4.
Yeah.
What was your I mean, this is like notoriously brutal, this part of the exam.
Yeah.
Everyone hates it. What was your strategy? How did you get around that task to get the highest?
Okay, so I think that when you have to do part four, you really need to know the phrases. Otherwise, you can't really compete with that exercise, let's
Yeah.
say. And yeah,
If you
so
don't know the phrase, you
exactly.
don't know the
But
phrase.
yeah,
Mm.
among the strategies I try to use. There were one, which is I think the essential one, which is
Mhm.
to observe what comes before and what comes after the gap. So
Mm.
you have a word or two words, and you need to observe the sentence, the syntax, how it is structured.
Mm.
Because maybe you need to put an ing form there, and you are
Uh,
not seeing it, and
yeah.
or you need an infinitive. So at this
Mhm.
level, you're required to be a very good observer and to know
That's true,
English is structured in terms of
yeah.
syntax. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, that's true. I feel like a lot of students make, like, really tiny errors as well, and it just loses them so many points because 'cause
exactly,
they're like,
exactly.
"Okay, I know the phrasal verb or I know the idiom," and then they don't check the rest of the grammar, and
That's it.
exactly like you said. Mm.
Yeah, and also you really need to take into consideration that you can get some points even though you are not completing the whole sentence perfectly. Because
Mhm.
if you complete like half of it, then you will get like
At
some
least you
points.
get 1 point. Yeah.
And I think that really worked in the exam, the day of the
Mhm.
exam, because some sentences probably they were 100% perfect, but I
Mhm.
give it a try, and yeah,
Yes, give
so
it a try. That's it. Don't leave it blank. Just get
exactly,
something in that gap. Like you said,
yeah,
you might get at least 1 point if you cobble something together. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, so that's part 4. Then we've got, your writing. Again, you were saying that was kind of a bit that you struggled with.
yeah.
Um, what made a difference for you? Like, what did you do to improve your writing? What was,
Okay, that could be like simple, but you have to write a lot. So
yes, that's the
I
key.
mean, yeah. So you really need to stick to a writing routine. So I
Mhm.
like planned to write at least two pieces of writing every week. So
Nice.
one essay, which is mandatory in the exam, and
Mhm.
also a second type of writing. So maybe a report or an article, or
Mhm.
the type of writing you wanted to focus on uh,
Yeah.
during that week. And yeah, so write a lot and be aware of the structure of how
Mhm.
to organize your text because English is really precise, accurate,
Yes.
demands being structured as
Mhm.
much as you can. And yeah, so and also getting feedback on my writing was essential. So
Yeah, if you don't know where you're going wrong, then you're just gonna end
exactly.
up making the
So
same
it was
mistakes
very
everyone else.
useful when I could like send you some
Mhm.
essays and you had a look at them and then you provided me with some feedback, and that was the right way to improve the
Yeah, just
skill.
little by little. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm. Again, there's a link up there, essay correction service, if anyone wants it. But I did notice a massive difference in your writing, especially when you came back after that summer, and we started doing one-on-one lessons. I was like, wow, you definitely like for me, it looked like you'd even in that summer. I know you said you had like a bit of time off, but it looked like you'd already worked on stuff on your own and you were like practicing it in your spare time anyway. So,
Yeah.
but your writing, when you look at a piece from just before the exam compared to that practice test, it's like I'm not going to say night and day because your writing was good anyway, but you could see that you were adding in, especially the vocabulary, like the range of vocabulary and the grammar you were using. It was so natural the way that you were writing. It was like as if a native speaker had written it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
guess
so
you've got
yeah,
something.
you really need to uh put those nuances um step by step, and
Mm-hmm.
it's something you acquire over a period of time. So I
Mm-hmm.
would like to point out that it was a process, so it took quite a lot of time. And
Yes.
if you want to see a true improvement, you really need to be consistent as much as you
Mm.
can because it's like going to the gym. You need to train in order to
It's
get
a good
better.
analogy. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. You can't expect results if you're not consistent with it.
yeah,
Yeah, consistent. I think a lot of people underestimate the exams sometimes, especially when you get to a really high level. I think people are, I know everything, so it's fine. And then you get to the
yeah,
exam, and you're like, oh
yeah,
my
yeah. I actually realized that sometimes I really like felt I didn't know like anything because you really
God.
stumble upon new phrases, new expressions,
Mm-hmm.
which are not common in everyday English, but at
Uh,
C2 you need to know them,
yeah, exactly.
unfortunately. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a bit annoying that you have
yeah, but
these
it's
things that
normal.
I never say in my life, but you have to. Yeah,
Yeah,
they need to test you on something.
exactly.
Okay, so we covered reading, we covered writing, listening. We looked at your practice test. You were pretty good with your listening anyway. I mean, listening's full of distractors.
Yeah,
I think that's the main thing. I think half of the time in listening, they're not even testing your English, they're testing your ability to just find the distractors. Because
exactly.
half the time when I'm doing it in class with a student, I end up missing like three questions because I'm not focused on
Yeah.
where they're trying to trip me up. So for you, how did you deal with not like falling into those traps?
So, yeah, you really need to pay attention to all the information that is being provided by the speakers because
Hmm.
at the beginning, normally when you are at C1, C2 levels, they gave you some information which might seem the right information, but it's not. So, might be a word connected to your question is, but actually that's
Hmm.
not. So you need to read through the questions carefully
Yes.
and understand them, and then try to if you can jot down some information you are listening to, so
Hmm.
keywords or yeah, points that might allow you to say, okay, that's the right
Yeah.
response.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's the
and
thing as well. Don't write everything down because that's a
exactly,
waste, but anything
exactly.
that can actually is relevant to the
Yeah,
question.
you don't have time. You don't
Yeah,
have time to do so.
yeah.
And when I took the exam that day, for instance, in the fourth exercise, so which is the matching one, so
Mhm.
I wrote down some information, and I was actually able to do it almost perfectly because I scored
Nice.
like almost 9 out of 10, I think.
Mhm. Mhm.
And another person who was taking the exam didn't take
Ah, you
any
could see them just sat there without yeah,
exactly, and it was mental for her. So
yeah.
yeah,
She probably had a
yeah,
breakdown. I was like, God.
yeah. So
Mm,
you really you need to develop your own strategy for listening
mm.
as well.
Yeah, yeah. Mm.
And
Yeah, that's the thing, there's lots of strategies out there. You'll hear a different teacher tell you a different
yeah,
thing, but, like, I always tell my students, "Okay, write stuff down and try and connect it," but some students, they just can't write while they're listening, so it just doesn't work for them.
yeah.
So just find something that works for you, like you said.
Exactly. You need to find your own method. And
Mhm.
before taking classing with you, I wasn't used to like taking notes when
Uh,
listening to the
uh,
audios. But
mm,
then I started doing it, and it was so it was very different for me from
mm,
that moment on because I developed a way of listening to the audio and also retaining the information I needed to
yeah.
perform well. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
It's a game
Great.
changer.
Game changer. Game changer. Alright, what about, speaking then? So speaking, I mean, you were pretty much fluent when you came to me anyway, but it's so specific, particularly part 3, where you've gotta
Yeah,
do the long turn on your own. Again,
yeah,
everyone hates that, you're under pressure, you've got your 2-minute time limit, and you're just like, "Ugh."
yeah,
How do you talk without repeating yourself? Because that's a big one. A lot of people often just kind of ramble and, you
yeah.
know.
So yeah, I think it's one of the most difficult parts of the whole exam because
Mm,
you really under pressure because the examiners are listening to you. There's
yeah.
also the other candidates are listening to you. So
Oh, yeah,
you,
of course, they're sat next to
so
you.
yeah, so you're like there,
Mm,
and everyone is expecting something from you.
yeah.
Um, okay, I would say that um, the the fundamental thing is to try to construct, so to structure a plan
Mm,
mentally. So you need to have a mental image
mm,
of how you want to structure your discourse.
okay.
So I don't remember the topic I ended up talking about in the exam, but it was about emotions, if I'm not mistaken. So
Okay.
when I read the word emotion, I started thinking also about vocabulary I studied related to
Mm,
that topic. For instance, emotional resilience and that type of phrases,
mm,
those type of phrases. And yeah, so introduction, then you have to you have to speak about the, let's say, more substantial part, so the central part, and then conclusion. So I
yeah.
always try to give this structure to my speeches,
Mhm. Yeah.
and it worked. And
It's yeah,
yeah,
yeah, by the time we got to the exam, you were like pro. You were just like, "Bup, bup, 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 bup,"
yeah,
like,
and yeah,
barely had to think about it.
it's just a model. So when you
Mm,
are used to reiterating that model,
mhm.
uh, it comes out naturally. So
Yeah,
you
once you just get used to
yeah,
using it, yeah, it gets a lot
exactly.
easier. Right.
And use connectors. So try to
Mhm.
connect ideas.
Yeah.
Use those nice words that examiners might be impressed.
Mm.
by. So
Yeah.
furthermore, rover, yeah,
Keep those
exactly.
signposting. Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely appreciate that. Nice. Lovely. Right. Okay, so we've covered pretty much each part of the exam. What about for you? Like a lot of students, especially like C1, in between like C1 and C2 level, they tend to like plateau, or their progress gets a lot slower. Was there anything that changed for you in the way that you study where everything just kind of clicked for C2 in particular? Where maybe you were struggling a little and then you were like, okay, this is how I need to do this now. And then your progress got faster.
Okay. I don't know if um I don't know, probably I didn't even realize it because when it
Mhm.
clicked, but
Mm.
I think that um having a method, so a study routine really made a difference.
Okay.
So,
Mm.
having those 2 3 hours when, for instance, in summer I had some free time, so
Mhm.
I tried to dedicate more time to uh, studying
Yeah.
English, and that really made a huge difference in terms of long-term results
Yeah.
because I
Mm.
started like I just started being more confident when it came to to speak English
Yeah.
and to use it and to also perform at a higher level,
Mm.
because you're required to really use a terminology that is not common. So
Yeah.
yeah, being try also trying to be exposed as much as you can. So
Mm.
if you're not really up for a study session, a long study
Mhm.
session, then you can listen to a podcast, watch a series, watch a
Mhm.
movie, read some pages of your favorite book, and that that is the where the difference
Mm.
comes in, and okay,
Yeah. You don't
here
have to sit there with a textbook just killing
exactly,
yourself like, you can actually do something
exactly,
enjoyable,
yeah,
but just do it in English, and then
yeah,
you'll still be picking up new
exactly,
vocabulary or yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
I remember going running and
Mm.
putting a podcast
Ah, nice.
during
Perfect.
my 30
Yeah.
minute run,
Mm.
and it's nice.
Yeah.
So
You don't
you're
have to be 100% focused on it either. It can just
exactly,
be in the background and
exactly.
something will still, trickle in. So, yeah,
That's
perfect. Okay, what's one bit of advice that you've heard while you were studying, specifically for like C2 candidates, that you would say is a waste of time? Is there anything that you heard or watched on YouTube or whatever, and you
hmm.
just think that is such a waste of time, or it didn't work for you?
Okay. That's a tricky one. I mean, it's a tough one because
Mm.
I watched some videos of candidates preparing for the C2 during my my study period, my study sessions. But I don't know if there's uh I can't come up
Mm.
with like one precise
Okay.
piece of advice, bad advice, but
Mm.
one of the things I wouldn't suggest is to practice um, as if you were taking a general English exam. This is
Okay.
not like general English. It's not everyday interaction. It's a precise exam, and you need to practice the what you are required to do.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
buy a textbook, a C2 textbook, download it or do whatever you want. You need some specific material.
Yeah.
So
Mm.
don't just go with the flow and pick up vocabulary from here and
Mm.
there because that it's not going to work, I think.
Yeah, or at least have a mix. Definitely have your
Yeah,
textbook so that you're like, okay, I need these words, and then also have your genuine resources, like you said, podcasts or whatever that
exactly.
aren't even aimed at English learners. They're just aimed at English speaking people. So that's
Yeah,
where the real stuff is that you're gonna find. So
yeah,
yeah, at least
exactly.
have a mix. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Let's talk about exam day because we've not actually spoken about you being there. So when you went into the exam, were you nervous or were you just like, "It's I've got this. I'm prepared. I'm ready." What were you
okay.
feeling?
I was really nervous. I was
Okay.
really, really nervous that day.
Mm.
And I think I was kind of worried about the length of the exam
It's a lot.
rather than the content because
Yeah.
I went there and I was prepared. So I
Mm.
studied a lot, but it was really stressing. So in terms of length, because
Mm.
it takes many hours to
Yeah.
get it
They're
done.
all.
And yeah,
Ah. Okay. So that was the main thing stressing you. What
yeah,
about time management? This is one thing a lot of my students are like, especially with
yeah,
reading. They're just like, I can't do this in the amount of
yeah,
time. How am I supposed to complete all of this?
yeah. You need
How
to
did
tell
you
yourself. So you need to take your phone and time yourself.
manage?
I didn't time myself at the beginning. So the first 3 4 months, I just decided I wanted to get used to the type of exercise I had
Yeah.
to do. But
Uh-huh.
then, uh, from the fifth, 6th month I was studying for the exam, I decided it was crucial to time myself because
Mm.
you need to use the time. So the day of the exam, they won't let you continue writing or listening or
Yeah,
whatever.
they say pens down, that's it. And if
Exactly.
you continue to write, they will disqualify you from the
Disqualify.
exam.
Exactly.
I've
So
seen someone disqualified from an exam before, and it was like,
so you know.
oh.
And
Mm,
yeah, so uh, time management is key, and also if you're not so if your strong suit is, for instance, one specific part of the exam.
mm,
I'm thinking about reading and use of English. So maybe you are so good at part 4 or part 5. So
mhm,
at the reading part, start with it.
mm.
So you really
Good
need
advice.
to prioritize what you are good at.
Yeah.
My strategy the day of the exam was starting with the reading part
Mhm.
because I'm kind of slow when it
Okay.
comes to reading. So I wanted to um, read first and then do the grammar part because I was quite
Okay.
so grammar has always been one of my strong suits. So
Yeah.
yeah, I
Mm.
wanted to do like this, but it's your choice. But
So
yeah,
part 2 to 4, you didn't really look at. You went straight to part 5 and
exactly,
were just reading, and then you went back.
exactly,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, you just need to um, let's say rehearse at home.
Yeah. Practice, practice,
Yeah,
practice. Yeah.
practice a lot, and yeah,
Yeah, time practice is very important because it's a whole other thing. It's also different from when you're just at home chilling and you're practicing versus you're in the stressful environment of an exam
yeah,
and your heart's beating and you can see the clock
exactly.
and you're just like, oh my God, like
Yeah,
it's a completely different ball game, I'd say.
I can confirm.
Did you have a moment of panic at all in the exam where you think I've got no idea what the answer is? I can't answer it
Uh,
well.
okay, probably during the listening,
Mm,
I panicked a bit because I so the first 2 exercises I didn't manage to get all the answers.
mm,
So I was like, oh my God, maybe it's not that one, it's the other. I'm not sure. And in
mm.
the meantime, you had also to go on with the other part. So you
Oh God.
risked like forgetting what you heard
Yeah.
and you listened to. And yeah, but yeah, sometimes your mind is just like confusing you, and
Mm.
telling you, okay, you're not doing it, you can't do it, but you're
Uh-huh.
actually doing it.
A little, yeah, that voice creeping in the back
Yeah,
saying, yeah, you can't do it, you can't do it.
yeah,
Ignore that voice. You
yeah,
can do it. Oh,
exactly.
nice. And you did it.
Yeah, I did it. And it's completely normal if at the end of the exam you feel as though you failed it. I mean,
Mm,
it's a common feeling, and
yeah.
it's fine. I had that feeling. So
Mm,
after the exam, I thought I did completely mm, badly in the exam.
yeah.
So it was like,
Mm.
but it was not.
Were you surprised when you got your result? What was your result,
I was
actually?
kind of
Remind me what you.
surprised. I was kind of surprised because I didn't expect to get like grade B because I was okay. If I passed it, I said it would be like grade C maximum, but
Okay.
it was
And
grade
then you got
B,
your
and it
grade
was
B.
like yeah, it was good, and I performed well in the speaking part. At the beginning of the speaking part, I panicked a bit as well because
Mm.
I didn't understand one of the questions of the examiner properly.
All right.
So I had like to try to give an answer, reformulate, and use all the tools I had
Mm. Okay. That's
to
what you need to do, yeah.
yeah,
Reformulate.
and
Mm.
actually I scored like the most in the speaking part. So yeah, so don't think that one thing can
Mm.
make you fail an entire exam
That's a good point. Mm.
because in at the C2 level, examiners look for structure, organization, ability to use the language in a
Yes.
fluent and flexible way.
Yeah,
So
exactly. Mm.
if you're
It's clear
able
to
to,
an examiner, oh, this person speaks fluently. They might
exactly,
have just had it. Yeah. If your
exactly,
nerves get in the way, you're not going to lose points.
that's it.
Yeah. Mm. Good point. Good. All right. And if you had to do it all again, but you only had 30 days to prepare,
Oh my God.
what would you focus on? What would be the
Okay.
main thing?
Okay. Um, okay. I would focus on mm, doing as many mock exams as I can. So
Okay.
um, use the Cambridge official textbooks or
Yeah.
mock
Practice
exams that
test.
are similar
Mm.
to the official, yeah, ones, and
Mm.
try to practice through them. And yeah, probably just yeah, in terms of writing. Create like a sort of basic structure
Mm.
for your writing, which can um, be suitable for all the writing tasks. So,
Mhm.
introduction, central part, conclusion, and this type of
Mhm.
organization. Yeah, and yeah, listening is listen to as many audios as you can.
Mhm.
Maybe audios that are conceived for exam, so for the
Mm.
C2 level, and yeah, the speaking part would be probably the most difficult in 30 days to prepare
Mm.
because you really need to work on it a
Yeah.
lot to
Mm.
get the fluency and those expressions. But yeah, record yourself. So one of
Yeah.
the key
Definitely.
aspects is record yourself during the monologues
Yeah.
because 2 minutes go fast.
Yes.
You don't even realize that they
Uh,
are like finishing, and you
mm.
really need to stick to your time schedule
Yes.
and two
Mm.
minutes. Yeah, so record yourself
Beautiful.
and go back and listen to how you did during,
Mm.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Good point.
monologue.
I was waiting for you to mention something about vocabulary. It's like, come on, vocab. But then again, 30 days,
Yeah, for
not a lot of
today's,
time to learn vocabulary, to
no,
be fair.
you could maybe
Mm.
get one of those lists that are provided with textbooks, like in the
Yeah, it's the
ready for
thing.
proficiency, you have
Cambridge themselves don't give lists, which is really annoying, but the textbooks Ready for C2 has a
yeah,
nice list of idioms, at least in the back.
yeah,
Mm,
exactly. So the most common and required idioms for that level for
mm.
each unit, but they're quite a lot. So 30 days. I wouldn't recommend
Neither would I.
preparing in 30 days. It would
Neither would
be,
I. Mm.
yeah,
Yeah,
mental.
that's the wrong way to go about it. Yeah, absolutely. Anything else to add? Anything else you would say to a candidate who's preparing for their exam now?
Okay. I would say, you will experience lots of ups and downs during
Mm,
your study sessions, and it's completely normal. So some days you will get all the answers right. Some days
okay.
you will get 1 out of 10,
Mm,
and you don't have to blame yourself because it's not your competence.
mm,
You have the skills, you have the competence to do the exam. It's the type of the exam that is demanding you a lot. So you
yeah.
really need to also be kind to yourself
Mm,
because many people prepare and study for the C2 while they're also working and doing other type of activities, as
exactly.
I
Yeah.
did.
People have lives in the yeah
Exactly,
behind.
exactly.
So.
So
Uh,
it's completely fair to have better days than others,
mhm.
and just be consistent. Consistency will pay off. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So consistency is key. That's our main
Yeah.
takeaway. Be
Yeah.
consistent. Set a time if you can. If you know you're going to be free on a particular day or a few days a week, set that time, put it in your schedule. This
Exactly.
is when I'm studying, and then you'll see it. It
Yeah.
might not be immediate, but over a few months, you'll
Exactly.
see your
You
progress.
will you will realize that your knowledge of the language is improving after, I think, the first 4 5 months, because
Mm,
then you're really getting into
yeah,
the whole process,
yeah.
and yeah, one of the things that I really noticed, it was when I read books.
Mm.
I could easily recognize many expressions for
Yeah.
instance, in fiction books. Many C2 expressions would come up,
Ah,
and I would see them
yeah. Oh,
and
I
say,
know that expression.
okay, that's
Mhm.
one of the expressions, the phrases I've come across recently, and
Mhm.
it's like this. You will understand and see things like um,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Absolutely. Yeah. Nice. Perfect. Right. Well, I think you've given us uh a good vision of what to expect for the C2 exam and how to actually go about it. So thank you for sharing your wisdom.
you're
Um
welcome, my pleasure.
Congratulations again on passing the
Thank
exam.
you.
What's next for you in terms of English?
Yeah, okay.
Where'd you
I
go from
will
here?
keep learning English, I
Mm.
think, endlessly, because I like languages, and I think that it's a never-ending journey.
It's
So
very
learning a
evolved
language,
anyway. So. Mm.
yeah, so there's always something new coming up, and
Yeah.
I like learning, I like studying, and yeah, I hope to perfect my English even more in the
Mm.
next years, because I would like to offer my students and
Mm.
uh, also my competence. So I high proficient competence,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Mhm.
so
Nice. Good.
that's
Oh, yeah. Keep learning, keep studying, keep enjoying. And thanks for joining. Yeah, this is a really good chat. It was
nice.
nice to
Thank you so much
it was nice
for
to see you again. I've not seen you in so long.
yeah, it
Yeah.
was nice for me too.